Let's go back to you at 15. So I want to know where all this started.
In 2020, I was a senior in high school. The pandemic hits, they send us home. My co-founder Ashton and then a group of 25 Stanford freshmen, we all moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. Instagram, where people post twice a year, but it's just a highlight reel. So we built Fizz to basically be the one-stop shop of campus life. We've raised over 40 million bucks. We're live at close to 1,000 now. We're democratizing information on the platform.
Hey everybody, it's me, the Einstein of Wall Street here from the balcony at the New York Stock Exchange. You know I love to bring you people who have stories, right? I'm a storyteller. That's my favorite thing. Sometimes it's finance, food, tech, fashion. It could be any number of things. When somebody does something that's actually going to impact and change people's lives, that's the story I love to tell. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who's I'm gonna. There are few people who actually have an idea and do it and actually bring it to fruition. And so there's a young man I met. I had the amazing fortunality of going to Con Lion, having an amazing week there, meeting people from the group at Bullet Pitch is where I met Teddy and Forbes and Meltwater and Stagwell. I mean, it was anybody was there, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life because you basically got everybody you'd ever want to meet in branding, marketing, and tech in one place. It was 98 degrees. It's okay. I survived it, and so did Teddy, even though he broke his foot. This is Teddy Solomon. He's the founder, one of the founders, I believe, of Fizz, and he's going to tell you all about it. I don't need to ramble on. Teddy, welcome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me here.
Absolutely. So a kick in the head and a broken foot, and he shows up.
It's been quite the week. Lost all my stuff in Serbia, and then got kicked in the head, broke my foot, and here we are.
And here we are. You know what? We are those kind of people who suit up and show up to tell the story. So give me a little. Let's go back to you like at 15, because obviously you're still really young, and you've started something and you've taken it to a viable level. So I want to know where all this started. Like,
I'll go back even further. I'll go back to basically birth. Since I was 3 years old, I wanted to become a college basketball journalist. That was my life goal. I decided when I was a little kid, this was what I was going to do with my life. I'm a lifelong college basketball fan. I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Okay. And you got to hang out with Benny. Because my son,
100%.
Because he is just a freak on college basketball as well as basketball in general. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, incredible. So I wanted to be a college basketball journalist, and then in 2020, I was a senior in high school. The pandemic hits, they send us home. I'm from San Francisco. I got into Stanford. I decided I was going to go to Stanford, and Stanford says to us, "You can't come to campus for your freshman year."
Right.
I'm like, well, I'm not just going to stay at home for college. Like, I've got to live out some semblance of a college experience. So I hop onto a Zoom call with about 100 people, all Stanford freshmen, all trying to move to the Bay Area.
Right.
And they were basically
so this was going to be your next class.
This was going to be our thing. All of my Stanford freshman peers, we were all going to move into houses in the Bay Area. But I said to them, I can't actually afford to go live in the Bay Area on my own.
Right.
What if we moved to Scottsdale, Arizona instead? Okay. And then what went on to be my co-founder Ashton, and then a group of 25 Stanford freshmen, we all moved to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Just because it was you could afford it, and it was a place to be.
It was cheap. It was 116 degrees.
And you knew there was
going to
be about a year, right, before you got to class, before you got to school in person.
100%. So because we couldn't go to campus, we made this little bubble, moved into houses in 2020 in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that's where I met this guy Ashton. He was living in Columbus, Ohio. I was living in San Francisco. We met in Scottsdale, and we said, well, look, we don't even know what's going on at our school. We have no idea what's going on at Stanford. We don't use Facebook like previous generations do.
Right.
There's Instagram where you post.
What are you,
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z, yeah. So previous generations, they use Facebook. We have Instagram where people post twice a year, but it's just a highlight reel.
Right.
We had a 1,200 person group chat where nobody would speak. We said there's got to be some better way to actually communicate with our peers, know what events are going on campus, join clubs, whatever it might be. So we built Fizz to basically be the one-stop shop of campus life. At this point in time, though, I wanted to be a college basketball journalist. Right. I took a quarter off freshman year to work at the Final Four at a tournament that was going on there. I had committed my life to that. Right. But fast forward about 10 months maybe, summer of 2021.
Were you in school yet?
Back on campus, finally for the first time getting that college experience. Not up and running.
Okay.
6 a.m.
But you still kept together with that community that you had built.
Exactly.
But it wasn't coordinated.
That group of people in Scottsdale was an incredible group of people, and we had spent, about 10 months building the app.
Right.
And then we decided 6 a.m., me and about a dozen of my friends, we threw flyers under people's doors with the QR code at 6 in the morning. By dinner time,
Wait a minute. You said you, in the midst of all that, you built the app.
Built the app.
So Fizz now was not only an idea about building a community around a college group or a college class, but you actually went ahead and did all the tech necessary to build this. So you did have the formidable idea.
Me and my co-founder Ashton, we decided we were going to bring this to life, but we didn't think of each other as co-founders. Okay. We were just like boys who met in Scottsdale.
Right, exactly.
We're like, we're going to build this for our friends. It's going to be super cool.
Right.
We throw flyers under people's doors, and by dinner time, all of Stanford is using our app. And they're using it for everything, from where the parties, what's being served at the dining hall, buying and selling in a peer-to-peer marketplace, whatever it might be.
Are you hearing this? So this is actually, it's a genius idea that came out of a necessity, right? It came out of, so some people are sitting around waiting, they're sitting at COVID at home, trading some meme stocks, losing all their money, or not doing anything and talking about all the stuff they're going to do. And this is somebody who actually, you know what? He put on his big boy pants. He realized he had to do so. He had to keep moving. Some people are just the movers, right? I mean, that's what I do. I don't sit around, and my brain doesn't get bored, right? It's always doing something. So even if I'm not doing all the 10 hats that I wear, I'm thinking about something. And obviously, you're like that too.
Yeah,
so you are,
100%.
Even though you're doing this, and this is what your dream is, and you have all that going on, you're still doing this, and it's not just an idea, but you're actually doing it. So imagine that you have this community. I mean, it's so genius. There's a problem.
I appreciate that. That's very generous.
I'm literally moved by the idea because it's so genius. Look, most ideas are born out of a necessity of something. Like you're in college, meeting people is always hard, first of all, right? I have a friend who's in college now. He's kind of freaking. He's 20. He had a rough time growing up. He's a little bit shy, right? Confidence, all that stuff. So college isn't easy to begin with.
It's a very difficult time in people's
massive,
lives.
right.
And when we showed up, it's like we don't know anybody. We don't know what to do.
COVID like threw your whole shit off.
And we don't know how to meet people in our class. Right. We didn't know where to find events to go to. We didn't know where to find information or how to talk to upperclassmen. But the crazy part is, we literally at that point were like, okay, we've built this for our friends at Stanford. Amazing. This is epic. The next day, every VC in America starts reaching out to us, and we're like, what is a VC? Like, we legitimately had no idea what that concept was. And fast forward in the story a couple months, I'm at a frat party one night, October 2021. We're still in school. Everybody at Stanford.
Frats were actually a precursor of you, right? It was a way for people to find a community, have friends, do shit together, and there was conversation going on.
And at this point in time, the entire school was using Fizz. They were using it for all things campus life. I'm at this frat party. I meet this girl, and at 3 a.m. she introduces me to her dad. And her dad is a serial entrepreneur. Right. He's started a dozen companies, exited about 7 times, and somehow he convinced me and Ashton to drop out of Stanford. He put $750K into the company, and then we hit the ground running. And the short story after that is, it's been 4.5 years since we dropped out. We've raised over $40 million. I've stepped foot on over 300 campuses around the U.S. We're live at close to 1,000 now.
You're in 1,000 colleges.
Close to 1,000 colleges, everywhere from Harvard, Yale, Princeton to Abilene Christian to Langston University and everything in between.
I got to stop a second. 2 seconds. Put that on hold for a second. I'm like, you blow my mind here. So
thank you, man.
It's just spectacular.
Thank you.
Okay. Rapid fire.
Sure.
It was, and it didn't happen that fast, but it did happen that fast.
Yeah.
But you think about it, because look, I'm being shopped millions of ideas and apps, and actually most college students have an idea and they're gonna, I'm gonna build an app. I mean that's, everyone thinks it's an easy thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not, obviously, and I'm gonna ask you more about that, because just saying I'm building an app and actually doing it and doing all those things, but in a very basic way. As I said, most great things are born out of a necessity. COVID, look, I've been analyzing this for a while. Social media is a bizarre thing, because while we think it's something that's bringing us together, it's actually separating us in a big way, because people are hiding behind their phone, right? And they've lost the ability to communicate and walk up to somebody, right? I mean, I can sit on my phone scrolling Instagram at a party, right? Or in a class, or in anywhere, and not have to interact with anybody.
Right.
Because I think I'm interacting with somebody on a phone.
And that's a big part of our central thesis, which is to say, well, we now use Instagram and TikTok, where you're just doom scrolling, looking at highlight reels. the fakest moments of your life, the
Fakest,
1% of your
fakest,
life.
exactly.
And we said we're going to build something completely different. We're building for the 99% of things that don't happen on Instagram or TikTok.
Yes.
So for us, we created this credentialed community. You're verifying with your .edu email. Once you're in, you're able to communicate with people who you share a common experience with, and it's fundamentally an offline platform. It's an IRL platform where you are connecting with people that you might see at the dining hall or at a party or at a class, and then as a result,
and you're going to identify
participation in campus life goes up, you know,
oh my
threefold,
God,
fivefold, tenfold.
Colleges must have been like so thrilled with you. I mean,
and it's incredible when you arrive. And for us, we took a very grassroots approach to marketing, and it was, you know, I've stepped
the flyer under the fucking door.
Yeah, and I've stepped foot on 310 college campuses. I've been chased off by campus police on various campuses. I brought hundreds of thousands of donuts around the U.S. to give to students. And when we were launching on campuses, we found that the students loved it. So we had the students take the lead, and it would be, you know, 40 students working for 3 hours helping to tell people about the app, and then it would take off and never go anywhere. Nowadays, we've got 98+% of Stanford, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth,
So
Tulane, SMU, et cetera, students using the app.
So let's just think about this. I'm in college. It's been a while, not that long. College life, it can be incredibly exciting, incredibly intimidating. I would imagine, I went to college 20 plus years ago. And, you know, and back then things were a little different. We didn't have phones to hide behind. We didn't have social media. We didn't have any of that stuff. Everybody, you walked up to people, there were, you know, you hung out with the people in your dorm first, you hung out with people in your class second, right? And then you got to meet people, whether it was at parties or concerts or whatever. You can go through. Go ahead. Go.
Sure, Peter.
Yeah. It's okay. You'll be in the interview. It's all good. Keep going. What's up, kid? How are you?
Look who's with me.
Hi. Hey.
Sure.
How are you? Nice to see you. Great.
Nice to see you.
Go. What's up? You're walking around with that. Where's the robot? Anyway, you know, so I'm just trying to think back to that. How did we meet people back then? Well, that was a different time.
Yeah.
Everyone was either, you know,
College is
smoking a
hard.
bone or hanging out at a concert or doing something.
Yeah.
I'm very well aware that I'm a bit older than you, and how life has changed for people of your generation, and how it's become that much harder to meet and greet people, right? Because as I said, we hide behind that phone. It's not a way to get closer to somebody, right? And we can literally scroll and not know. So for me, I find that really frustrating.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things I did was I built an academy to teach people to trade. Yo, what's up? Are you fist bumping? Don't hurt me though. Oh, how you doing? All right, come on camera. What's his name? Her name? Gene? Gene, what's up, Gene? Yeah, Gene. Do you know anything about Fizz? He'll go to college? He didn't go to college. Okay.
He's still a baby.
He's still a baby. I interviewed, do you know Koi? The other robot that's part of what? Yeah. So I interviewed Koi years. Yeah. It is the same company. Cool. So I interviewed him. We did a thing outside. We danced and we chased up and down Broad Street. He beat me in the race. Same guy. So we get to see each other again. You look a little more advanced then. You didn't have that face thing going on, right?
Face, yes.
Yeah. I know. I remember that.
I got a haircut.
Yeah, you got a haircut. So good to see you again. I feel like hugging you. If you remember, you and I raced up Broad Street. You actually danced with me and broke my toe. I never told you about it, but it's okay. We were kind of like we were doing the merengue or something, and you stomped me. It's great to see you. You are advancing. You're growing up. I'm proud of you. Going to do an interview? I was the first one to actually interview you. So nice to see you again. Are we shaking? Are we bumping? Shaking and baking. Great to see you. All right, Gene. On your way, buddy boy. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. This is wild and crazy. The robot threw me off. Anyway, one of the things I do, and you know, a lot of my audience are young retail traders, and they're your age, right? And I sort of do a lot of analysis of what of your generation versus my generation, and how we handled some things a lot easier, and everybody thinks you guys have it easier because of technology and all this, but I don't think you do, right? But you have found a solution to a major problem, I think, which is putting people together. As I said, now a lot of people don't talk about this. They think, oh, you know, you had Facebook and you have this and all these things bring you together. I think that's a bunch of BS. I think that separates people and lets people hide who they really are, what they're really doing. I can be anybody on my phone.
Yeah.
You can think I'm the best, best looking, blah, blah. Go ahead.
I think we live in an era unlike any other where people are craving community. So
Craving it.
we're seeing that thriving across the board. Anybody who's building around community, privacy, intimacy, it's very valuable for people
So
because
valuable.
like my
Thank you
thing
for
on
saying
college
that.
campuses was I used to always ask everybody, what's your story? I would just walk up to random people. I've met tens of thousands of college kids on these campuses.
Yes.
And when I go and I meet them, I say, what's your story? They're very like, they're not used to somebody coming up
Not
and,
at all.
like
They're
talking to
intimidated,
them
right.
because it's not something that we do.
It's not what
so
we do.
you just kind of got to strip away that social anxiety and give people a way to build community. I think
That's
it's
why
important.
I tell stories, because there are so many stories. There used to be a TV show in New York. It was called The Naked City. It was one of these old Twilight Zone things, but it used to always say there are 100 stories in the Naked City. But right in the nooks and crannies of a neighborhood or a school or whatever, everybody's got a story. Well, some are good, some are bad. Right? We have a massive suicide rate, right? Because people are not asking for help. They don't talk. They're intimidated by saying to somebody, I'm not really feeling good. I mean, the difference between somebody doing something to harm themselves and not is literally a phone call or asking somebody, for help, right? And so I'm wondering, what I'd love to ask you is, first of all, inside the app, besides it being, where's the party happening? What's going on in school? I'm starting a new business. I'm an entrepreneur, whatever. Is there stories to be told? Are we doing
100%.
profiles of the people and stuff like that?
There are
Is there a
absolutely
mental health
stories
aspect
that
to it?
happen within the platform. So people use it for venting quite a bit. They have a platform where they're able to connect with other people. And for example, we just launched internationally. We launched in Saudi Arabia. We hit #1 on the App Store charts there. We've done over 10 million direct messages there. And people are venting quite a bit and talking with one another about their, let's say, emotional struggles. Maybe they just broke up with their significant other, or in the U.S., maybe they just failed an exam or something along those lines. It's an important component of the platform. You give people the ability to
identify with somebody else.
Yeah, and to be able to
that's where we
communicate
find
about these
peace.
things.
It's when I tell my story and you identify with it.
Yeah, and one of the coolest stories that I've seen on the platform is it was a Stanford student who said that they are autistic and they're not able to basically interact in person with people, but through Fizz they're able to live vicariously on the platform and connect with other people, which is important. And to me, one of my favorite parts is we like to say we're democratizing information on the platform. So if you are the president of the top fraternity on campus or the person who never leaves your room, you have access to the exact same information, and that's essential.
I'm telling you, it really puts tears in my eyes. You're still taking investors, you'll take one from me. You'll take one from me. So just think about that. And you are now, how many colleges?
We are at about 800 now.
800.
We'll
How many colleges are there
in
in America?
It's hard to say. People debate this number, but it's approximately 2,000 colleges.
2,000 colleges in U.S. That's it.
That's generally the number
Wow.
people
And you,
go
so
with.
you're almost 50%.
We're at quite a few colleges at this point.
That's amazing. And did you start with Ivy League? It was just sort of because you went to Stanford?
We started at Stanford, and then I told you the college basketball story. So I used to cover college basketball at Pepperdine, so we picked Pepperdine as our second school to go to. Pepperdine is a closed campus. I befriended the security guard. I snuck 1,000 donuts on the campus, and then I was chased off by campus police, but we got a third of the school on day one, and then we ended up getting all of Pepperdine on the app. And then from there, we went to some schools where we were familiar with the school in some capacity. Chapman was close by to Pepperdine, so we went there. And then a lot of schools where I had covered college basketball. So we went to Creighton as our fourth school in Nebraska, big college basketball school. And we always said, we're not trying to build the Stanford app, we're not trying to build the Ivy League app. We're trying to build a generational product here that actually brings people together around their shared experiences, their shared identity. That's what it's all about.
You know what? You are incredibly well spoken.
Thank you.
You tell your story, because it's not easy to tell that story in a most succinct way, right? Sometimes I'll interview somebody, it's like pulling teeth, and sometimes they'll have a great idea, but they won't be able to impart it. You've actually explained it in such a perfect way.
I appreciate that.
I get it. Anybody's going to get it, right? And what's amazing is I'm sure there are a lot of great case scenarios of it having other implications besides even colleges or whatever, just from the mental health aspect and all that other stuff you talked about, because that's another thing that I try and work with, whether it's addiction, mental health issues, community, all of that is so powerful. And as you said, you're a generation that has been sort of split apart and messed with, right? COVID came along. I can't even, I almost died from COVID, right? I was given 3 months to live.
Wow.
I've had 7 surgeries. I was in a neck brace for 5 years. So I got hit by it too. But so I understand being isolated. Like I was locked in a house for a long time, right? And in a neck brace for 5 years.
Wow.
So I understand that stuff. And so I used the phone When I was locked in my house, I was patient zero for COVID, right? March 15, 2020. Nobody knew what to do with people with COVID then. They sealed my apartment, wouldn't let people anywhere near me. I had to everyone knew I had it, so I couldn't leave the house and all that. And the only connection I had to the outside world was my phone, was Instagram.
Right.
And that's kind of when I blew up on it, because I needed to talk to somebody. I needed to communicate. Like, I was ready to jump out the fucking window, right? And then somebody popped up on my feed. It turned out it was David Meltzer. Do you know who David Meltzer is? He was the guy who created sports management. And he literally talked me off the ledge, right? And this guy, Wall Street Trapper, who had been doing hard time in jail, who came out of jail and started the largest black trading community in the world.
Awesome. Nice.
But they were people that popped up on my feed when I was sitting there all by myself, like, over probably 5 million people in China, right, reaching out to me, who knew who I was, like, telling me, come on, you're going to be okay, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So, sometimes one kind word or one communication, right, can change a fucking trajectory.
And the phone can enable something very special. You can go and reach so many people at one point in time, and that's unique. We've never had this opportunity before, so being able to use that for a purpose that is all about bringing people together, democratizing information, it's a cool concept to us, and we now have dedicated our lives to it. And
I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Amazing. And so you've still, there's going international is huge. Because what you touched on is, think about how the internet opened up countries where people, whether it's religious persecution or whatever it is, women in Middle Eastern countries, whatever it may be.
I think we live in this generational era where everybody is connected online, and we have this chance to create community wherever it might be. So we hit #1 in the App Store charts in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Oman. We're expanding very rapidly on that front. But in the meantime, we want to be everywhere all over the world with this generation of people that want an actual social media platform. So Instagram says, well, I think they say 7% of the content on Instagram is actually from your friends, 93% from other people. They go in the media direction, in the TikTokification direction.
They're not necessarily selling something.
We are very much going in the social direction, and we're saying whatever Facebook was, 20 years ago, 2004, that's the sort of energy, actually going and creating a genuine social network. That's what we're passionate about. So we're going to keep doing that, and hopefully one day we'll ring the bell here.
You know what? I'm confident for sure that you will. It's amazing. Obviously there's another 1,200 schools you've got to hit, and there's so many other things. I look forward to
We're very early in the journey. We're very early.
And learning it. I would love to. I have access to. It's a story that needs to be told, right? I will give you access to so much. We have great media down here.
Amazing.
And it's, it's not a story just for college kids. I think I can learn so much. We can all learn so much from it, right? Every generation for sure can. And I think from what I immediately thought about was, so I have a partner named David Green. We started on Wall Street together, and we created this academy teaching people to trade. Right. And our audience are college students, right, who are sitting at college taking some courses, who before this, there were every obstacle to day trading that possible was there.
And
now all those barriers are down. It's totally been democratized. And we are not, but then when it got democratized, everybody thought, oh, I can do this. This is easy. Well, of course, they blew up their account and lost all their money. So what we did was we realized that we had to. Excuse me. Yes, are you downstairs? Your name is on the list. Just come through security. I'll come and get you. Is obviously reaching a community. So college students are the perfect people to be in part of our community. They're the ones who want to learn how to day trade, make some disposable income. They don't have $25,000 to open up a trading account. We've been able to get rid of all those barriers to entry through this company, Apex, and all that. So for me, it was I was seeing just an opportunity to get in front of that audience, which is my audience, right? But in a really cohesive way.
It's an incredible cause. Because once they get their first paycheck, if they're financially literate, that's
huge. And as I think I said to you while we were sitting there, the key is, first of all, the language of the stock market, technical analysis, all that stuff, risk management, which is helpful in everything. They will have that as an asset in their pocket when they go for their first internship, when they go for their first job interview. That's what we're teaching. We're teaching that level because we have our own community, and we're teaching the same thing, psychology of trading. Anybody can be taught to hit the button.
Right.
It's what you do when you get into the trade that is important.
100%,
And so
yeah.
the psychology of trading, which actually spills over into life and all that other stuff, is so key.
Yeah.
So to actually have access to your community, I think it's going to be, we're going to have a
100%.
ball.
I mean,
blowing
we
up.
should discuss.
Yeah, we
everything
are.
that
We
can
are.
do
It's going to
together.
be
Amazing.
Dude, Teddy, you're amazing.
Thank you for having
Teddy
me.
Solomon. The app is Fizz. Go fizz your ass up, dude. Amazing. I'm the Einstein of Wall Street. That's all I got to say.